to welcome you back to the Solution Talk. My name is Jamie Summers, and I have to tell you, this episode has been on the radar since we have started this show because this conversation adds so much value to everything that we have already talked about, and I'm so excited that we are here. So pull up a chair, and how about we get into it? Real quick, I want to ask you a question, but before I do, I need to touch on what we talked about last week because we talked about feeding our cells and we talked about those whole grain oils, the foundation underneath the foundation. And today we're going to talk about that next layer. We're going to talk about protecting our cells. And these two are going to go hand in hand. And by the end of today, you're going to understand exactly why. But here's the question. And I want you to sit with it for a moment before you answer it and really just get below that surface level, right? Like stop normalizing all of the ish that we are dealing with in our health and let's just get to the raw truth of it. So, is there something going on inside of your body right now that you have just kind of made peace with? Like you're normalizing not feeling great every day. Maybe it is, stiffness in your joints, like you wake up in the morning and it takes a little bit of while. Oh my goodness. It takes you a little while to work itself out, right? And you chalk it up to, I'm getting older. This is just how it is. Or maybe you're dealing with like that low grade achiness that just doesn't seem to have a clear reason why. And you're just like, okay, well, it is what it is. Or you got some brain fog going on that just doesn't ever seem to clear up. Your energy is like a for sure crash in the afternoon, and it doesn't matter how much sleep you get, it doesn't ever fix how tired you actually are. Or how about slow recovery after your workouts? Like you tend to be more sore than you probably feel like you should be. Or how about that skin health? Maybe it's just a little bit off, or maybe you're a little moody. Like maybe you got an attitude problem, right? And your mood seems to swing without a lot of explanation. Or bloating. Bloating is a big one, right? And you just accepted, like, this is just life. This is what we're dealing with. But here's what I want you to consider. What if a lot of what you have been writing off as stress or just getting older or this is just how things are has an actual explanation? And what if that explanation has a real solution? Because here's something that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough at the forefront. And I know that the buzzword inflammation is like thrown out there, right? But to talk about it in a way where chronic inflammation is the leading root cause behind almost every major disease that we're dealing with in this country, talking about heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, autoimmune conditions, cognitive decline, joint deterioration. Inflammation is literally underneath almost all of it. And our body is doing its best to give us these warning signals, and we just ignore it. And a lot of people are living with a level of it every single day that they have legit just completely normalized. And not because it's normal, but because they have never really been given a reason to try and connect these dots, and that is what today is going to be about. Let's connect the dots. So, let me start by telling you a little bit of my inflammation story. So, all of 2019, I lived in KT tape. And like I was normalizing that pain in my knee, and I thought it was pretty cool walking around with that KT tape, right? And if you're not familiar with what that is, that's that colorful, like athletic tape that you see on athletes, and I wore it on my knee every single day. And I want you to understand what that actually looked like in my life because it was not just because I was hitting the gym. Being a fitness instructor at the time and moving my body, I mean that was a passion and it was my career, and I was being held back by my own body every single day. I was modifying my exercises. I wasn't able to push myself the way that I wanted to. And I dealt with so much pain. Like, I would try to go all out in teaching my classes, and I would come home and I'd have an ice pack on my knee every single time. But it wasn't just affecting my gym life, it was affecting my normal quality everyday life. I'm talking about carrying laundry up and down the stairs, walking in a parking lot. Like, everyday life felt like something I had to just manage around my knee instead of just living life out. And I accepted it. And I spent a lot of freaking money on KT tape. Can I say that? And it was a frustrating time in my life. It was a time where I thought, well, maybe I'm going to need to get surgery, or maybe I'm going to have to like stop teaching my classes. And I think a lot of people are doing that exact same thing right now with something in their body. They're just trying to manage it instead of really addressing it, because we feel like there is no hope to our solution, right? Like, this is just life. So, when I started actually looking into the root causes and trying to like not add fuel to the fire, but try to put it out a little bit, I started researching a lot about omega-3 levels and getting those in consistently. And when that happened, something shifted. I ended up noticing that I had more confidence within my own movements. My pain started decreasing in my knee. I actually hit a PR in my back squat. Like, that was amazing. The girl in KT tape crushing it with a PR on my back squat. And at some point, I just stopped reaching for that tape. Like, I stopped having to feel like I needed it in order to get through everyday life and everyday workouts. Like, it was no longer a crutch. And not because I pushed through it, but honestly, because I didn't feel like I needed it anymore. I was building up strength around my knee and realizing that at the time, what was really happening, looking back, like, inflammation around my knee was calming down. That's what getting ahead of inflammation actually does for the quality of your life, right? It is carrying the laundry, it's hitting the PR, it is just living without thinking about it. And that matters more than any number on a scale ever will. So, if you're at a place where you're trying to chase after your health goals, sometimes we're so focused on the end picture of what we want to see on a scale and what we want to see in a before and after photo, when the biggest transformations in my life and in your life will most likely be the things that cannot be shown up on a scale in that way or in a picture that way. Like, so much of my biggest transformations were those non-scale victories. So here we are, and a lot of people are dealing with this deficiency. Over 90% of people are not getting enough omega-3s. And omega-3s are essential, meaning that your body cannot make them. You have to get them consistently from food, or you simply just don't have them, right? And when you don't have them, your body isn't able to do what it needs to do. And here's why that gap is so dangerous. The standard American diet is absolutely loaded, my friend, with omega-6 from processed oils, vegetable oil, canola oil, sunflower oil. It's in almost everything. And when omega-6 is out of balance, well, that's going to drive inflammation in the body. So now here we are drowning in things that make it worse and getting almost none of the thing that's going to help bring it back down and bring it back into balance. And that's not a coincidence. That's just our standard American diet working exactly against us. We should be getting at least 2 servings of fatty, wild caught fish every single week, not fried, wild caught. And 90% of people don't even come anywhere near getting in what they need, right? So, we're going to talk about food first, because food first always is a thing. Whole foods are always going to be at the forefront of our health. And here is exactly what I did, right? I ended up theming my dinner days because I'm a nerd. And when you could take overwhelm off of your, what am I going to make for dinner? What are we going to eat? If you can calm that, it allows you to show up better in your day. And when you don't have to think about it, it just starts to become this like calm normalcy, right? So I ended up theming out my days and knowing that we are supposed to get in 2 servings of wild caught fatty fish every single week. Well, that made life pretty easy when it came to, well, let me theme out 2 days. I picked Mondays and Thursdays. In my house, those are our salmon nights. That is a non negotiable. We actually have like a butcher box subscription where we get grass fed, grass finished meats, organic chicken, wild caught salmon, and it's delivered right to our door. We don't have to think about it. We know that what we're getting is good for our body. And I'm going to tell you how crazy of a simplicity this has added into my life because, like, when you think about trying to prep seafood and all of that in the house, like, a lot of people don't like the way things smell, right? Like, let's just be so for real. Like, people don't like to eat fish. They don't like to cook it. They don't like to smell it. They don't like to chew it. And that's a real thing. And I'm going to get into that in a moment. But this is how stupid simple I make this. So, Mondays and Thursdays, like I said, those are our salmon nights. I literally take that salmon straight from the freezer. Okay. Put whatever organic seasonings I want and whatever I feel like. I can change up the taste based on the seasonings. And I literally put it in my air fryer at 400 degrees for 26 minutes from frozen. And when I tell you it comes out freaking phenomenal, like my husband, Matt, doesn't even like seafood and he'll tolerate the salmon. He says it's good, but he is not a seafood guy, but he knows that it's important to get that in. So 400 degrees for 26 minutes. I put 3 of the salmon fillets on there. It's so easy and so simple. And then we pair it with like sweet potatoes or white rice and any kind of vegetables that I have made up, whether it's my sheet pan veggies or whatever. So it's super simple. I already know, like, Mondays and Thursdays, I don't have to stress about what I'm eating. I already know that I don't have to stress during the week to get my 2 servings of wild caught fish in, and I can keep that consistent. So it makes my life so much smoother when it comes to that. Now, that's how healthy eating actually works in real life. Like, you remove the decision, you become the person that's going to theme your day and you just do it. You don't have to overthink it. Your body gets what it needs without you having to reinvent the wheel every single week. It makes life so great. Like, just trust me. Now, to touch on this, because I know that a lot of people don't like to eat fish. I mean, my kids are definitely guilty of that. Like, the only fish that they're going to eat are goldfish, and we know that those aren't good for us. So here's the thing, not liking something, my friend, does not mean that your body stops needing it. Your cells require omega-3s, whether your taste buds are on board for it or not. And here is something worth knowing, especially for the people who just said, fish is not happening in my house. Like, the Mondays and Thursdays sure as hell ain't making that. Well, I'm going to tell you, one omega-3 plus a day, the one that I take every single day, my fish oil supplement, is equal to just over 2 servings of wild caught fatty fish every single week that you don't have to cook, you don't have to chew, and you definitely don't have to smell. Like, you don't have to convince anyone to have to like try and eat it. It makes life so easy. I know that my kids aren't going to join us on salmon days, but I know if they can take one soft gel a day for the week, like, that is going to be a huge win for their life because they're going to get the equivalent of 2 servings of wild caught fatty fish in their week every single week. Every single week. Yeah. I think I repeated myself week. Like, it is definitely going to be a real win for everyone, but especially a win for those people that have been skipping this gap entirely because fish just isn't their thing. So, you don't have to love fish to protect your cells, my friend. You just have to be consistent. You have to know that the fish oil that you're taking is actually going to be a proven benefit to your life. But even with 2 salmon nights a week, most people are not even doing that. And we're still likely not hitting the optimal omega-3 levels. The research is really clear on this, right? 90%. And that is where quality supplementation can come in and help you fill the gap. And I want to talk about that because this is where it gets really important. right? Because most people, if you do talk to them, they are taking a fish oil or they have taken one at some point in their life because they know that they're supposed to, right? Good intentions. It's the right idea. But here is something that I think is really, really important, and I do not hear enough people talking about it. A poor quality supplement taken with all the right intentions can actually cause more harm to your health than benefit. And let that land for a second, because that means doing nothing and doing the wrong thing are not as far apart as we think. So, let me give you the standard I held when I went looking, because I think that you deserve to understand the why behind a supplement before you ever put it in your body. First, when it comes to omegas, it's more than just EPA and DHA that we need, because most fish oils on the market stop right there with just those two omega 3s. That's it. And while EPA and DHA absolutely matter, there are actually eight omega 3s involved in human nutrition. Eight. And your body needs all of them working together. See, a supplement that only delivers two is leaving a lot on the table. And second, is it clinically proven to benefit your health? Not marketed to you, not claimed, but proven in human studies. With data, you can actually go find and you can go read, because there is a massive difference between a product that supports inflammation and a product that was studied in humans and shown to reduce inflammatory index by 68% in just 8 weeks. That's not a maybe, that's proof. And that distinction matters a ton when it comes to if you're deciding what you're going to put in your body every single day. Like, you want to put in what's going to work. Then third, is it tested for purity? Because fish oil specifically is one of the most susceptible supplements to contamination and being rancid. Most people have no idea that a lot of what is on the shelf is oxidized before they ever open the bottle. And oxidized fish oil does not just fail to help you, it can actually work against you. Your body deserves better than that. And, I've said it before on this podcast, there's nothing more expensive than a product that doesn't work, right? Now, the one that I take every single day is called Omega-3 Plus by Neolife, and here is why I trust it. It delivers all eight of the nutritionally important omega-3s involved in human nutrition. It's wild caught, certified sustainable, sourced from waters across three oceans and two seas: the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Mediterranean, and the Black Sea. Tested for over 200 contaminants with an allowable detection limit of zero. Not low, zero, right? Purity is not assumed here, and it is tested and proven every single time. And the clinical proof, I mean, it blew me away, right? In just 8 weeks in human studies, this exact formula reduced the inflammatory index by 68%, improved the omega 3 index by 38%, and lowered triglycerides by 17%. I mean, that's not marketing, that's science. And that is a standard that I was looking for and refused to compromise on. See, I've seen the comparison chart between this product and others on the market. And when I tell you nothing comes close, you can look for yourself, but nothing comes close. Not in the number of omega 3s delivered, not in purity and testing, not in the clinical proof. Like, there is a reason why I trust this product and put it in my body every single day. And last week we talked about feeding our cells. This week we're talking about protecting them, and that is what this product absolutely does, better than any omega product that I have seen in my entire career. That is how you build a foundation that actually works for you, right? If we could drive inflammation down, if we can get our cells getting our nutrients in better and waste out better, like, that is only going to be a better situation for our overall health moving forward when we can keep that consistency going. Okay, so you might be thinking too, like, Jamie, you told me that on Mondays and Thursdays you're eating wild caught salmon and you're also taking an omega 3 supplement every single day. which then gives you 2 more servings a week. Like you're rocking out 4 when you only need 2 like a week. Why are you doing that? Well, my friend, just because that the standard of what we're supposed to be hitting is 2 doesn't mean that if we have more, like you're going to benefit more, right? And remember how I told you about my knee? Like I need to keep inflammation down in my body as best as possible. And like I enjoy eating the salmon twice a week. It makes my life easy. And it is very simple to take my omega-3 every single day. And I will tell you, like when I have like a tough day in the gym and I'm feeling a little bit more sore than normal, like I take a couple extra omega-3s, right? Like if you think about it, it's kind of like an accelerator to drive down inflammation. Like 2 is going to be better than 1, 4 is going to be better than 2. It's just how things work, right? So here is what I want to challenge you to do this week. Take a step back, look at your week. I want you to ask yourself, how often am I eating wild caught fatty fish every week? And write that down. Okay. And once you write that down, I mean, the answer could be 0, and that's totally okay. But now we know that it's very essential to get these omega-3s in, right? So you can look at doing what I did and theme out 2 of your days, rock out some wild caught fatty fish, and make that a non negotiable. I mean, if you don't have an air fryer, I'm telling you, it is a game changer. From frozen, 400 degrees, 26 minutes, done. Like super, super simple. Now, with that, you might be like, I'm out. Like, I am not going to chew any freaking wild caught fish. Like, not going to happen. Take a look at if you are taking a fish oil and knowing what I shared, do your own checklist on your own fish oil. Like, does it meet all of those standards? And if it doesn't, and you want to know exactly what I take and why, everything on the omega-3 plus is going to be in the show notes. You can go check out the fast facts. You can check out the comparison chart. You might see the one that you're taking is actually on that chart. And you might be a little shocked on how many check marks they're missing. So this is what I trust with my own health every single day. And I'm not going to point you somewhere else because I'm a walk the walk, I talk kind of girl. Like if I am taking it for my health, there is a reason. And this is my degree. And I'm a nerd. And I am also very frugal. So I'm not going to invest in things that don't work. So I want you to know that if you are dealing with any kind of inflammation in the body that you've been normalizing, right? There is a reason for how you feel. Like there is. And there's also a solution. And we can start controlling what we can control. I hope that this added value to your life, cleared up some things that you needed some perspective on. We have to know that there are solutions to these problems, right? There's always going to be a solution. Like problems need solutions, like solutions need problems. It's like peanut butter and jelly. That's why we're here every single week, to break through the noise, to navigate through what is real, what is whole, and what is proven to improve our life. We have to control what we can control, right? That starts in our grocery store, and that starts at looking at our supplementation in a different light. So if today added any sort of value to your life, please leave a comment, share it up with someone who maybe needs to hear this. You know, because somewhere out there, there's a person who has just been living with something that they have just accepted as normal, and they're frustrated. And maybe, just maybe, the hope that they're looking for can be found in something that I said, something that you shared, right? And maybe this is the conversation that starts to change everything for them. So with that, I hope you have the healthiest day ever, and I am excited to see you back next week. So until then, my friend, stay healthy. Bye.